Okay, let's start. Where are we? I'm just giving the organizer option. Okay, so we were discussing make to stock production, right? Yesterday we are done with 10, strategy 10, right? Okay, so today we'll start with 11, strategy 11. Okay, so I'll note it down. So these are the, so yesterday we completed 10. Today we'll start with 11. Okay, so 11 is basically gross requirement planning. Now the major difference between 10 and 11, the major difference between 10 and 11 is in the 11 strategy 11, stock is not taken into account. Your warehouse stock is not taken into account. Okay, while doing the MRP, if there is any stock, that is not considered in gross requirement planning. No warehouse stock is taken into account. That is the main difference. That is the difference between 10 and 11. Okay, in case of strategy 10, the one which we discussed yesterday, the warehouse stock is also considered. Okay, whereas in case of 11, the one which we are going to discuss today, the stock is not considered. That means even though you have stock, still you want to do production. Okay, so that is a strategy 11. Strategy 11, frankly speaking, it is called as a forced production. You have stock, still you want to do production. So that is the main feature of strategy 11. So the strategy 11 is used in industries where, let's say, you cannot stop your machine. Okay, you cannot stop your machine. Like I don't know whether you people work for any pharma industry. In the pharma industries, nuclear reactors will be running. Okay, the nuclear reactors, whenever you want to stop, you cannot stop. Some reactors kind of thing. So that you have to continuously run all the 24/7. So those kind of industries, they use this strategy 11. Okay, so that is the main important difference between 10 and 11. Okay, so we will see this in the system. Yesterday, what system we were using? This one, right? What happened? Not getting connected. Huh? Okay. Use other one. What we can do? Use other one. Okay, I'll take the material. Okay, so material type, third I'm taking 23, not sure what is the issue. Okay, what material we were using yesterday? 103 D04. Let me just give me 1 minute. 10358. 10358. Okay, let me take 10359. Okay, and then 103 10356. Okay, material, and I'll close all this production or the same thing. Just give me 1 minute. Just I'm making I'm clearing everything. Okay, so now the situation is fresh. We have only stock of 150. We have stock of only 150, and we don't have any requirements. We don't have any production orders. Nothing is enough. Okay, nothing is enough. Let's start with the planning strategy 11. Planning strategy 11. This is called gross requirement planning. Okay, it is called gross requirement planning. So now let us make the settings for the gross requirement planning. So we'll go to material master, MM02. Okay, so 10356 is my material. Enter. Go to MRP3 view. Okay, plant is 1000. Okay, so now yesterday we executed strategy 10. Okay, now we'll start with 11. So change the strategy group to 11. Okay, let the consumption mode and consumption periods remain as such, and only thing is other than these settings, for the strategy 11 you need to use the mixed MRP indicator. Mixed MRP indicator with two indicators to gross requirement planning. Okay, so these are the settings you are supposed to do for 11. Strategy 11, and then consumption mode, consumption periods, and then mixed MRP. Okay, these settings you have to do. Now let's start with the flow. Okay, so I saved it. Now what I will do is, first I will show whether it will consider the stock or not. It will show. I'll show, and then we'll go with the process flow. Okay, so basically, as we just understood, in planning strategy 11, the warehouse stock is not considered in the system. So I'll put only one requirement first. I'll put only one planned independent requirement. MD61. MD61. I'll put only one planned independent requirement. Okay, I'll enter only like 300. I'll enter only 300. Okay, 300. Now go to MD04 screen. You will be able to see the forecast. See, the forecast is 300. Now why the BSF is coming? Yesterday when we used 10, strategy 10, here the independent requirement type was coming as LSF. Now it is C. For the same material it is now coming as BSF. Why it is coming as BSF means, if you go to the configuration, SAP reference IMG, you go to production. Okay, go to MRP, go to production planning, go to demand management. This yesterday I have shown you. Okay, planned independent requirements, go to planning strategy, define strategy, planning strategy. So if you go here, if you go to strategy 11, what is the planned independent requirement type? The planned independent requirement type is BSF. The planned independent requirement type is BSF. That is why there it is coming as BSF. Yesterday when we worked on 10, it was coming as LSF. Now it is, as we are now working on 11, as we maintained 11 in the MRP3 in Metal Master, now it is coming as BSF. That is why here you are getting as BSF. Okay. Now here we have a requirement of 300. We have a stock of 150. Right. Here, what is your requirement? Your requirement is 300, and your stock is how much? 150. So if you do MRP normal scenario, you should get a planned order for 150. Okay, but as we are working on 11, the stock is not considered, so you will be getting a planned order for 300 only. You will be getting a planned order for 300 only. Okay, now let me do the MRP. Open one more session. Okay, MD02. I am executing MRP now. You see what happened. Okay, so I executed MRP. Now if you go to the stock requirement list, now if you execute, see what is the planned order quantity? It is 300. Okay, that means this stock is not considered in the MRP. Okay, that is because of this strategy level. Whereas in case of yesterday's strategy 10, stock was also considered. Warehouse stock is also considered in the planning. So that is the major difference between 10 and 11. Okay, so if you want to do forced production, if you want to do even though you have stock, still you want to continue with production, then you have to suggest this strategy to the client, strategy level. Okay, see, as a consultant, what you will be doing in the real time is you go to industry, you go to any industry for the SAP implementation, then you have to suggest a suitable planning strategy to them. Okay, so you should know all these planning strategies. You will not be, normally 99% of situations, you will not be creating any new planning strategy. Only thing is existing ones you take and you suggest to the client. Okay, so that is what you will be doing in the real time. So to suggest that one, you should know what planning strategy will do, what activity, in which scenario, which planning strategy to be used. So that is what you need to understand. Okay, so here as the stock is not considered, the planned order got generated for 300. That is the only major difference. Other than this, strategy 10 and 11 both same. Remaining process flow same. Okay, so I'll continue with the process flow now. I'll enter some more requirements. I'm entering 1, 2, 3. Next 6 months I entered the forecast, planned independent requirements. Okay, you will get everything. Now remaining process flow same like this only. You enter the demand, this we discussed, same like you enter the demand. You do MRP now, you do MRP. Okay, I'm executing MRP. Remaining same as 10 only. Okay, I'm executing MRP MD02. Okay, I'm executing MRP. Your planned orders will come. Planned orders will come. Then you do the production. Then your stock will come. Then your stock will come, and then as usual sales orders will come. And from the warehouse stock, you will be delivering the product to the customer. Okay, so remaining flow is it's same as like what do you say, 10 only. Okay, anyhow I'll execute one more flow for you. I'm converting this to production order. Okay, I'm deleting the component. Okay, now I'm releasing the order. Okay, now I'm releasing the order. Now save it. It is taking a long time. Okay, so your order is created, production order. Okay, so this is the production order. Now once the production is completed, you will be getting the warehouse stock. Once the production is completed, you will be getting the warehouse stock. Okay, so now let me do the GR for this. Once the production is completed, they do the GR. Okay, now so what is the stock here now? Stock is 150, right? Stock is 150. Now I am doing GR for another 300. So your stock will become how much? Your stock will become 450. Okay, so I'll do the GR. I'll do the GR. Goods receipt. This we will be learning in detail when we go to production execution. Okay, I'm doing the GR. That means production is completed. Once the production is done, they'll do this transaction to bring the stock. Okay, so this is the one. Now I'm saving this. Enter the date of production. Okay, so GR is done. So when you do the GR, you will be getting the stock here. See, now the stock has become 450. Okay, now in between the customer orders will come. And from the stock they will deliver the product to the customer. This step, sales orders from warehouse. Okay, so that is what they will be doing here. Okay, so this is how the what do you say? This is how the your planning strategy 11 will work. The only major difference is stock is not included in the plan. Even though you have stock, you will be still continuing with the production. Okay, so that is the planning strategy 11, gross requirement planning. Okay, so now the last one we'll be discussing. The last one will be the what do you say? Planning with final assembly. This is the most widely used. Okay, among all the planning strategies, the planning with final assembly is very used frequently, because this is actually, frankly speaking, this is a mix of MTS and MTO. Here in the planning, both are considered. Your planned independent requirements, your forecast, and your sales orders, both are considered in the planning. Okay, so that is why it is called planning with final assembly. We'll see it. Okay, so in planning with final assembly, the main focus is on flexibility in reacting to customer demands. Okay, normally the production is triggered by the planned independent requirements before the sales order is received. Okay, production will be continuing with the sales order, planned independent requirements only, but at the same time the incoming sales orders will consume these planned independent requirements, and if customer requirement exceeds the planned independent requirement, the system automatically create a planned order for the unplanned quantity in the next MRP. That means your customer orders also included in the planning. That is what will happen. Okay, that is what will happen. So both your system will consider both your forecast, planned independent requirements, and at the same time your customer requirement is also considered. Okay, so this is what planning with final assembly. So this picture will give you the overall overview of planning strategy 40. Okay, you have your forecast, okay, and you have your sales orders, customer requirements, which comes from SD module. Both are considered. Considering both, you will be doing the production, and you will be bringing the stocks. Okay, so here if you see, sales orders affect requirements and consume planned independent requirements. I'll explain you this. In a minute. Okay, but only thing you need to consider is here both are considered in planning strategy. Whereas in 10 we discussed, 10 and 11, the one which we discussed, their sales orders are not included in the planning. They are not at all considered. But in here, planning with final assembly, sales orders also will get consumed. Will also considered in the MRP. Okay, so now let's start with the flow. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take the same material. What is our material? 10356. Okay, let me take this material. Go to MM02 material master. Okay, same material. Go to MRP3 view. Okay, so make the strategy 40. Okay, planning with final assembly. Now mixed MRP is not required. Enter. Okay, so I will go to MRP3 view again. So you need to change now strategy to 40. Planning with final assembly. Okay, here conception mode is 2, this will discuss once this planning strategy 40 is discussed. Okay, so this is how you maintain the planning strategy 40. That means here what we are doing, for the same material we are executing all the planning strategies. Okay, so now let's go to our this thing. Let's first remove this existing ones, existing requirements, everything. Okay, now I'll do once MRP run so that those planned orders will go MD02. Okay, planned orders will get deleted. Okay, now again the situation is fresh. We have a stock of 450. We have a stock of 450 and we don't have any requirements as of now. Okay, so now I will enter next coming 6 months requirement. Okay, I'm entering the forecast. Okay, I'm entering the forecast. So again, the normal process flow is same. See, all these are different planning strategies, but basically they are make to stock strategies. So in the make to stock strategy, the basic principle is this only. The basic principle is this only. You enter the forecast, you do the production, your stocks will come. Okay, only thing is sometimes whether to include the stock or not, whether to include the sales orders or not, sometimes will get changed. But basic flow will remain the same, as all these are make to stock strategies. Okay, so let's start with the strategy 40. Okay, so I entered all the MRP so planning strategy and everything. Now let's enter the forecast. I'm entering the planned independent requirements. Okay, I'm entering the planned independent requirements. So now first I'll enter as there. What is there? 450 is there. So let me enter 550, 500, 100, 100, 100, 100. So I entered planned independent requirements for what do you say? Next 6 months. Next coming 6 months. I'm entering my forecast demand. Okay. Now I am saving this. Okay. So I entered my forecast. I saved it. So you go to stock over requirement list. Now you'll be able to see the planned independent requirements. That's the next 6 months forecast. Now here, why the planned independent requirement type is coming as VSF? Because now we change the strategy type, strategy group. Okay, so if you go to configuration, as we now maintained 40, requirement type is coming as VSF. So all these things will all these requirement types will control consumption, all those activities they will control actually. Okay, so these are called two requirement types. So now we entered the requirement. Now we'll start the production. Okay, so now we'll start the production. So we'll do the MRP MD02. Enter. Okay, so your planned order